Hey YouTube, could you make the quality less bad? Have had to update absolutely everything. This is becoming an enormous pain in the ass to just, I want to stream for just a few minutes. I'll just make a quick stream, it'll be fun. And oh man, all the passwords needed to be updated, and it's a hot mess over here. Hot mess. Yeah, you might. It's a spoiler for what we're going to be doing in the background on the show today. Alright, we should be firing on all cylinders. Everything should be up and running. Life should be good. Good afternoon, everyone. I know I have been missing from the Eve spheres, but fret not, for I am here. We've got stuff. So you'll see on the background that I do have a goal for today, which is to click something off of my bucket list, which is to finally add the Titan skills to my character's brain. Booyah, that's one. Alright, so that's one. God, it hurts to spend that much money. Gonna let that run while I get my environment set up on the other side. So sorry for lagging here. Bobby is asking what's up with the price of claws. So one, remember that test versus everyone is going on right now. So a lot of the Tech 2 core prices are going to get fuzzy. And also, there's been some shakeup in the Tech 2 material markets. Not that I've been able to keep a finger on the pulse lately, but that's sort of what is going on in 10,000 mile view. As I was going to write up a thing for the Plex spike, but I wanted to have this month's Myrrh out so that we can actually talk about it and actually write up like a real blog, like 600 words about it. Unfortunately, CCP Quant has been out on vacation and just got back from being sick, so we should see that hopefully on Monday. Dr. Nimbus is asking how long I expect the test thing to actually keep going. Again, I am not the person to ask for that. I do not have my finger on the pulse like some others do. It looks like the war is going decently, and I was going to go dig in deeper again once the Myrrh hit, so we could actually talk about how much of Goon's vertical integration actually counts, like how much of that is affecting things. Because from an economic perspective, the thing that interests me most is this sort of private versus public economy thing that's going on. Because Goons are rather infamous for basically vertically integrating all the way through their pipeline. And they have been extraordinarily productive since Ascension, and to actually put some of that economic horsepower to work where that actually has to do work and actually has to get spent. I am interested to see just how much of that gets burned. I don't have a ton of faith thinking that a lot of it is getting burned, unfortunately. But again, so I have been IRL super busy, so it's been hard to keep, again, my finger on the pulse here. So I am not as read in as I should be, as I have been in the past. But once the Myrrh hits, I should be able to run the reports, take a look, see what we can see. I do appreciate that that skill point farming is finally negative. For as much as we've been complaining about it, I have been complaining about it since it came up. Like what I see when I look at skill point farming finally going negative is the crest of a wave of cash that has nowhere to go, right? Like so if you count up all the RMT items, that's Plex and skins and extractors, sorry. You put those all together, they account for the biggest swath of the market, up to 50% depending. And so even though we've been seeing very hot cash supply, it's been getting absorbed by this RMT market. Like, we see it balloon up to sort of take on that extra ISK. But as we put more and more ISK in the system, those sponges only have so much capacity before it starts overflowing into other places in the market, and things start to get unstable. So again, I don't want to talk too much about specifics until I run the numbers, and running the numbers is going to take like 30 minutes. But the pieces I see is that there is so much ISK going on that we can finally start talking about inflationary pressure, because that ISK has nowhere else to run right now, and it has to go into something else. And I mean, that's not... I want to see less of it printed into the system, to be completely honest, but we have the Council of Null Management, and they're going to fight tooth and nail against it. So I haven't seen much of the new AI stuff come out yet. So again, I am the worst person to ask about mechanics. Oh, Eve snack. It's a good question. Try not to snack when playing Eve, because it takes so long. I'm already a pretty big fat guy. It's a good question. It's usually picking a drink more than a snack. And I drink way too much Coke, so I'm boring. Ooh, it's been ages since I PvP'd. If I can pick T2, I do like electronic attack frigates, specifically the Hyena and the Kiris. Those are my favorite. Cruiser PvP is kind of the sweet spot I really like to play in, but it's hard to get. It's been ages since I've been able to fly in that tier. I really like E-War though, because it's fun to be that dick on the field. And then Logi is the second best. Jeez, all the 20 questions here. Favorite faction based on looks alone. So when I joined Eve, I leaned hard into the Kaldari stuff. I still think that's mostly where my heart is. So Eve Portlanol is asking, you're a noob trader, have issues scaling up. I'm playing with about 5 to 7 billion, can't think to step things up. What advice do you give? So stepping up from 5 up above the 5 billion threshold depends on what. So this is going to get a lot of well, actuallys and depends ons, unfortunately. But it depends on what you have access to for your to work with. So if you are purely solo and you're not in one of the big groups and you're not in a high sec group or attached to null sec, low sec, faction warfare, that is a harder bill to jump over because you have a lot of work to do to get above that 5 billion purse. I feel ya. I don't have a lot of great answers other than owning, really trying to own a market or a niche so you can play like the Rita Jita market where you do the Dodixie Jita thing, or trying to get into more diverse arbitrage would be about the only way I can do it. But if you're in null with a major faction, then the things I would look into are how to leverage the competitive advantage. So things like fitted ship contracts are really good. Things like buying up low-grade PI to enhance into high-grade PI, as long as you're not paying out the nose for fees. Local supply chain using your jump freighter network. That should be really easy to basically know what your guys need and get it supplied through the jump freighter network. And if you're feeling really adventurous and have a bit of a silver tongue, drug distribution is an excellent business. You just have to find the customers. Otherwise, it makes that one's actually one of my favorites, but it takes a lot of legwork to make that work. All right, let's see. Did I ever play with the big groups, test goons, etc.? So I've never been in goons specifically, but I did. I was a surf for Bob way back in the day, way back, and I think that was Firmius Ixion, way back, and then I was in Gents during the Fountain War to do the Nullsec tour. Haven't flown with them in ages and ages. Favorite funny Eve player thing. I guess my favorite funny Eve player thing from Dr. Nimbus is the fact that we talk so much shit on the internet, and then we're the biggest bros IRL. You know, everybody drinking and happy to see each other because, you know, well, at least we're Eve players. We're not like, you know, those other gamers. They suck. Yeah, sorry, bros. No more hydrostatic. That's not happening. Eon Hite is asking if there's any suggestions for going from Eve Trader tools to real world market. That's a really good question, and I'm kind of ironically a bad person to ask about this because I make too much of, you know, I worry too much about making my own stuff. So if you are using tools like Atom for Eve, or Eve Mogul, you can usually turn that kind of you can recycle those patterns into some of the standard tools coming from Google and Yahoo, and they're especially powerful if you're willing to jump into the Bitcoin market. I mean, I have reservations about the eCoin markets, but if you can train a gut for trading in Eve, in JITA, off of some of the tools that Atom for Eve offers, there are some Bitcoin exchanges that work in a way that give you a lot of access to that sort of data. Otherwise, Investopedia, I think, is the website that'll help train you for technical analysis. Yeah, and I've been trying to dig into. So the problem is that, like, as complicated as Eve is, it's still a couple orders of magnitude under the real world, and there are, especially since the fee schedules are the real problem. It's really easy to play the game in Eve, and you're buying and selling, and you don't really have to pay a broker, and yeah, you have to hit 4 or 5% to beat taxes, but like that's it. Whereas IRL, like, I have to worry about hitting alternative minimum taxes, for instance, or the other sort of there's trading overhead, and it's hard to be ahead of the news IRL. You're really playing in the back court kind of thing, and it's tough. I'm trying to go find a way to get better at it, but it's not for the faint of heart, and it's not inherently obvious if it's not your bag. All right, that's number 2. Yeah, so it gets complicated trading crypto, and I think the assumption that crypto will be tax-free is going to be coming to an end here in about 18 months. I still think you can, again, do not take this as legal advice, and I still think you should probably pay your taxes, pay unto Caesar what is Caesar's, but so my actual worry is less about the tax burden on crypto as much as I'm worried about the security of the exchanges you're trading on. Last month had like 3 exchanges go down, and some like $20 or $30 million worth of crypto coins go missing. So it can be a dangerous place to be playing for a lot of risk. Well, and if you're, I mean, if you are of the libertarian ilk that thinks that Bitcoin is how you're going to get around taxes, well, there's a lot going on there. I mean, it's not that you can't make money, and it's not that it's not a terror. It's not that you should just avoid it. It's just that it's complicated, and a lot of people are running into it like, oh, it's easy. I know computers, and I can do this. And oh well, I don't have to pay in exchange all this extra stuff. And like, well, you're kind of going to Bangkok, and you could be taken for a ride if you're not careful. So I don't have very many nice things to say about crypto, unfortunately. The recent book I've been trying to get through is Python for Investing by Yaviz, I can't pronounce his name. And that has been interesting to at least see what the high-performance tools start to look like, which is really the place I want to end up, is less in trading my own money and more for selling products, because I'm better off doing that personally. And the more I dig into it, the more... Oh, man. I think I found my calling this week for what I need to go do. I just have no fucking idea how you sell it. I've been running into the same problem over and over again from a data science infrastructure point of view. And it's a problem that really needs solving, but I don't... like, PyPI is free, and there's no gate on it. So how the fuck do you write a new PyPI for a different type of data and actually make a buck? Like, I don't know how that gets funded. Yeah, this is the... I have a great technical idea that needs to get solved. I don't know how it gets funded. I am sad. I wanted the camera to be all... And I mean, maybe there's an element of build it and they will come, and just sort of shake the can until I do that. But like, man, so the thing I want to do, and I'm willing to go talk about it because it's just so much fucking work that if you can make money off of it and I can't, then well, good for you. So there's a lot of cool data science going on, but a lot of the models have to be generated. All the models are made boutique, right? Like, oh, I need a classifier that knows how to find this image. So I'm going to go train it, and I'm going to go build it, and then I'm going to deploy it, and then I'm going to throw it away. And then I'm going to do another thing that needs to figure out that thing plus, you know, maybe something else. Or like, oh, well, I did an image classifier, but now I need an audio classifier. Or I need to do it. The thing I made is overfitted for only identifying food, and it can't understand what animals look like. And that sort of thing. And so what I want to do, and then there's a similar problem in natural language processing. And what I want to do is make something like PyPI that lets you do version control and distribution of those models so that you can start to get your hands on 2 or 3 or 4 of these models at a time and put them together, just like you would for Python libraries, where you import it, you hit the API handles that they figured out, and now you can have your model next to somebody else's model next to some third guy's model. And I think that needs to be done, but I don't know enough on how to actually get it done. NLTK has a little bit of a distribution network, but it doesn't have a versioning scheme, and it doesn't have an exploration website to go through it. And even then, the lexicons are pretty... it's hard to add new lexicons. So, like, I don't know. So there's this huge problem that if like the NLP lexicons were more available, for instance, we could do sentiment like you could build sentiment analysis into more text-based robots without any expertise needed. You could just say import this model, use its API, and put strings in, get magic out. And that's the way the Vader lexicon works. But Vader's the only lexicon that is included. It has batteries included. So yeah. What? So Polish is asking, my primary Eve income source has been, was industry. But again, I have essentially retired. So what works today, like, I haven't done industry in the new Citadel era, so I know things have changed and my tools are way out of date. And by the time in the later years, I had been just making sure that my habits were cheap enough, and largely plexing, just because I just don't have time. But yeah, that's where we are. Data reader. That's the one we're finishing today. Oh, total skill points. Good question. Wonder if I hit 200. I should have hit 200 already. 234 million. I think I'm over 500 mil across all the accounts I have access to. But again, like, I think my 12-year anniversary is this year. It's either 12 or 13. Alright, friends, I need to step away for just a second to get a new drink, and I will be right back. So let's see if we can get done what I actually set out to do today, which is to finish this wannabe data reader. The two things that I have to finish is being able to map sentiments onto a data frame, which should be interesting. I read that stuff, it's just not worth it. Okay, so... Why is it so laggy? Really wish Kite would stop quitting. I don't love the fact I'm spending $10 a month on a service that makes it harder to code. Number three! Number three! Alright. And number four. Ooh. Make sure we're not missing anything. There, I think that actually makes me complete. I've got to be missing something. It's got to be like one of the Citadel skills or something. Okay, there is one I don't have, and I still think it's like 100 billion if I want it. Nope, I have all of them. All of them. All of the skills. Woot. pushed a button, made everything break. So, now let's see if we can figure out how to make the thing, do the thing. Those are where you're supposed to work. Suppress prompts. How do we do Vader Lexicon? That is important. Alright, I don't know what's wrong with my environment now. Oh, it's only 57 billion. Oh, did the music stop? The music shouldn't have stopped. Hold on, I gotta check. And I'm having a hell of a time checking the app. Seriously, the Twitch app doesn't want to play, and that's the only way I have to check my levels, which is starting to really get on my nerve. It worked a second ago. Come on, I believe in you. Come on, please. I know I'm streaming. I know I'm here on the thing. Yeah, levels should be good. We should be good. Everything should be good. And Avalon, my comments all go in the doc strings and the logger, so I actually write very few traditional comments in my code these days. Oh, it returns none. What a pain in my ass. There we go! God, what a pain in the ass. Okay. Really wish I got more done. It's 4 o'clock. I can't believe I didn't get so much done. Alright, please build. Let's see if read the docs actually works. Today's build should work again. Here's to hoping, of course. Oh, I have to do one more touch-up, don't I? Looks like we're getting to about the end of the stream. I don't know what the bug here is. But I might not have the right Python. Let's update. Let's see if we can fix the terrible, terrible setup here. See if we can just get the test environment fixed for Python 3.6, and then we should be able to build and release. I don't know why pip install takes so fucking long to run. It seems to only be a Windows problem. Do is run some tests. Make Travis turn green. Because we fixed this thing. Because as long as it's just getting the analyzer once per run, that's all I care about. And I should do a throw for if column names isn't strictly the right length. Run some tests. Should be easy, but it's not. Alright, that should put us back in the good graces at Travis. It's gonna hurt our coverage, but I don't, you know, we'll get there. Watch the tests. Watch the tests. Go, go, go. Green. Everything is green. Huzzah. 3-6. Come on, 3-6. 3-6 is green. Woo! And then I gotta wait forever for 3-7 dev to figure, but that's fine. So, thank you everybody who tuned in. Sorry that the show got really boring here at the end. I'm hoping to, again, try to do this at least once a month. I'd like to get to twice a month. I just have to get schedules to work out. Also, now that hopefully the hottest part of the summer is behind us, getting streaming time should be less of a pain. Again, thank you everybody who tuned in. If you're not already joined in, do check out the doobly-doo below. There should be information on how to join our Discord and talk about the stuff behind the scenes. Still working on getting relaunched for a new show. Have some notes, need to start working through them. Expect to see some pilots hopefully up on YouTube in the next, let's say, 6 weeks. And if you want to keep track of that, do get subscribed. The Patreon is still off. I think we're going to keep it off until we get 4 or 5 shows in the pipeline so we can do a proper relaunch, rebranding, everything. I still have some behind the scenes work I have to do before we relaunch the Patreon. Really boring paperwork stuff. I got to figure out how to launch an LLC. It's super boring. Beyond that, thanks everybody. Let's see, is there anything else I need to add? Again, get subscribed, Eve Prosper. That's the best way to find us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I should be relaunching eveprosper.com with some shiny new stuff once we get the podcast stuff figured out. I want to make it easy for me to get content to you. If you have ideas on what to do that is not strictly Eve content, do be sure to drop me a line. And we should be back sooner rather than later. I'm hoping we can talk more about some of this dev stuff and get moving along there. So see all of you at the next thing. So fly safe.